going on, guys? I got a belt sander review for you today. The Makita 9924DB. This guy here. I've been meaning to do this review since last year, but my procrastination has given me lots of time to use this sander. So some history, if you don't watch my channel, my belt sander broke last year while I was doing a ton of sanding when shaping a wooden surfboard last year. It was a cheap Skill, I believe 18-inch belt sander, and it was okay or fine for doing light duty work, but if I was gonna replace it, I figured that I should upgrade to, well, a decent quality belt sander like this guy. After a ton of research, I concluded that the Makita belt sanders would be the way to go. As an aside, I really like DeWalt tools and would have preferred to get a belt sander made from them, but alas, they don't seem to be making one that is readily available, at least at the time when I was shopping for one. So anyways, I purchased this, the Makita 9924DB. This was not the most expensive belt sander on the market, but it's still pretty pricey. But as the saying goes, buy once, cry once. Some of the even more expensive models that Makita makes actually have variable belt speed, but unfortunately this one doesn't, but that's okay. I don't really need it in my use cases. So this thing is a beast, and actually my arm is getting tired just by holding it right now. From what I can tell, it was first manufactured in the early 90s in Japan, and it's still being made today. Just look at it. They haven't really changed the design of it like since the 90s, and I like that. If it works, why change it? So for the specs, it's got a 7.8 amp motor with a 1300 feet per minute single belt speed. The handles are positioned comfortably when holding and pulling the trigger switch. It also has a locking switch or a locking button, and it's got an extended base bottom with a cork and graphite plate to allow flush sanding along like walls and stuff. And it also accepts 4-inch by 24-inch belts, so it takes up the full amount of this tracking pad. The belt tracking adjustment mechanism is manual, and I had no problems with the belt running true. Now, something to note is with a 3-inch belt, you can track this sander all the way over to take up all this room on this tracking pad, which is really great if you want to do like sanding a floor, so you want to sand all the way to the edge of the room. So that's really awesome. So the sander includes one really rough grit belt, so when you're buying the sander, you'll want to pick up some extra belts at the same time. I believe this is the original belt on it. I threw this on because I wanted to sand some really just old wood and with paint on it and stuff, but I do have a bunch of other belts as well. I always like to also pay attention to the type of cord on power tools, and this one has like a really nice flexible cord that's rubberized and easy to work with when the temperatures are cold. Also, it's a really long length, like really long. So that's really nice to not have to reach for an extension cord. And all I do is I just wrap it around when I'm done. And I can attest to these cords because I have a Makita power planer that's like 30 years old, and the cord on it is awesome. It's still just as pliable. So I'm really impressed with the dust collection bag with this belt sander that just clips on like this. I thought it wouldn't collect much wood dust, but I was actually pleasantly surprised with the amount it was able to collect and keep out of the air. I may modify it so I can attach my vacuum attachment dust collection system to this, but the connection is this odd rectangle, so out of the box I can't connect it, so I'll probably like CAD or 3D print something for this. Now, weighing in at 14 pounds, this will give your arms a workout if you have to use this unsupported for any period of time, but usually you're probably gonna be, supporting this on a surface and sanding. You're not gonna be like really holding it out or anything like that. But with this weight combined with a 24-inch long belt, it made sanding flats, like on my wooden surfboard, really super easy. I had no issues with the belt sander bogging down, and I did extended periods of sanding with no issues at all. This thing works amazing and is really satisfying to use. It will remove a ton of material in a hurry. Now, the last thing I want to mention is this tool has repairability built into it. If something breaks on this, you can actually still get parts for it. Like, especially if you live close to a Makita service center. I've had Makita tools in the past, like my power planer, and I was able to get parts for it still, and that's like 30 years old. So in summary, the Makita 9924DB belt sander, as I mentioned earlier, has been around for almost 2 decades. So it's pretty easy for me to say that this machine is a highly recommend if you're looking for a belt sander that will last. Well, that's it for my review. Hopefully you found it helpful. You can also check out the videos on the wooden surfboard I made with this belt sander on my channel. I'll put a link in the description below to this belt sander, and give this a thumbs up if you found this review helpful, and consider subscribing to my channel. So, bye for now.